Rawteur, you used to get 22 episodes a year. Now, you're lucky if you get 10. I mean, think about it. Martin, Friends, Fresh Prince, Jerry Springer, The Simpsons, Married with Children, Divorce Court, all syndicated, all waiting for you after school or work, 5 nights a week. But here's the part no one tells you. Before premium cable and streaming, the goal of just about every single show was to reach syndication. At the time, networks followed a fixed calendar that aligned with the American school year. New shows premiered in September and wrapped by May. But the real money months were November, February, and May, during what the industry calls sweeps. These were make or break. Ratings during sweeps determined how much networks could charge advertisers and whether a show would get renewed. Warner Brothers sold Friends into syndication in 1998. 4 years later, the cast famously renegotiated $1 million per episode, primarily because that syndication deal was reportedly worth over $1 billion. That's the power of syndication. But there is a catch. To be eligible for syndication, a show has to reach 100 episodes. So no, 22 episodes a year isn't just random. That number ensured that the shows hit every sweeps period throughout the year and got you to 100 episodes by midway through season 4. And once you understand that, you understand just how far we've drifted. Because while a lot of people like to blame streaming for the decline in episode count, cable is the one that actually started this entire mess. Enter The Sopranos. It premiered on January 10th, 1999, 8 full years before Netflix even launched streaming, back when you had to be on the couch Sunday night if you wanted to witness HBO's favorite mob boss take over television. One thing people tend to overlook is to hit the like button. Every season was 13 episodes, except the last, which they split into 2. But at the same time, network TV was still doing 22, sometimes even 24 episodes per season. So why was HBO doing less? Well, remember what HBO stands for. Home Box Office. They weren't just making TV, they were selling a movie experience broken into parts. So when people say modern shows feel like 8-hour movies, they're not wrong. That's exactly what HBO set out to do in the 90s. Stranger Things will take 9 years to deliver half as many episodes as The Sopranos did in their 9-year run. So yes, cable started the shrink, but streaming took the baton and ran with it. However, I'm not letting HBO off the hook. Game of Thrones takes years to deliver just 8 episodes by the end of a season. So when someone left that comment that new shows just feel like an 8-hour movie, they weren't exactly complaining about length. They were complaining about structure. And they're right. David Chase, creator of The Sopranos, insisted on 13 episodes for a reason. It let him structure a season like a novel, 3 acts. Rising tension, a mid-season pivot, and then a real payoff. Graham Manson, co-creator of Orphan Black, took that even further.
How many more seasons do you have in mind for this show? I had to make the train pun, I'm sorry.
It's like, I always sort of think of them in 3 seasons, a start by 3 seasons. Did the same thing with Orphan Black. If you think of it as 3 seasons, a beginning, a middle, and end. Oh, if we can only get 3 seasons, it'll be awesome. And then if you get lucky enough that you go beyond 1 and you get to 3, then it's kind of easier to think of 5 from 3 when you get 5 acts. So you start with the 3 acts and then you move to 5 acts, and then I've never gone beyond that, and I don't know if I could.
He prefers planning shows in odd-numbered arcs. 3, maybe 5 seasons, because that's how you keep the classic 3-act structure. Beginning, middle, and end. That kind of planning respects the medium. But today's streaming shows, they stretch a 3-hour idea across 8 episodes and call it prestige. Episodes blur together, scenes hang in midair, plots stall until the finale if the show even gets one. This isn't television, it's fragmented film held hostage by quarterly budgets and binge watch algorithms. Now, here's something no one wants to admit. Most of what we call a season today is actually a miniseries. If your show has 6 episodes and the entire thing is one continuous plotline, that's not a season. That's a limited series. But streaming platforms keep calling these seasons because it sounds familiar. It sounds normal. It sounds like you're getting what you're used to, but you're not. At least with real miniseries like Band of Brothers or Chernobyl, you knew what you were getting. One story, one contained run, one ending. Now, we get 6-episode seasons with no guarantee of a second season. Just the promise that maybe if the algorithm smiles on it, there might be more. But let's not call that a season, because it's not. Now, The Penguin, chef's kiss, 8 episodes of gold, and yet they still called it a miniseries. I respect it. There's a major initiative happening right now in the video game space, and I believe it's going to set a precedent for all digital media. It's called Stop Killing Games. And in plain English, the goal is that if you bought a game, you should still be able to play it even when the publisher or the studio shut the servers down. That sounds obvious, right? Well, it's not, because even some single-player games now require an internet connection just to verify that you own the game. And once that server goes dark, poof, you're locked out of something you already paid for. This is important for purchasers of movies and TV shows because lobbyists such as Video Games Europe, who are actively fighting against the Stop Killing Games initiative, represents companies that also produce movies and series. Obviously, there's Netflix, home to Stranger Things, You, Squid Game, and more. Then there's Microsoft. They co-produced the Halo series on Paramount Plus and have a stake in the Minecraft movie. Then there's Sony, which already has turned several of its PlayStation hits into live-action adaptations. Uncharted, The Last of Us, Twisted Metal, Gran Turismo, and of course Ubisoft is developing an Assassin's Creed series. Oh, and don't forget Nintendo, Warner Brothers, Riot Games, EA, Take-Two Interactive, and Embracer Group all produce, co-produce, or license out their IPs for movies and TV. So if a digital rights law passes, it won't just impact their games, it'll hit their film and TV pipeline too. Which brings us back to streaming. Whether it's Amazon, Apple, Vudu, or whatever, they include almost identical language. Take a look at Amazon's actual agreement. In the section titled Availability of Purchased Digital Content, it says, purchased digital content will generally continue to be available to you for download or streaming, but may become unavailable due to content provider licensing restrictions or for other reasons, and Amazon will not be liable. Now, here's the part where most people will breathe a sigh of relief. You may download and store your own copy, so you can view it if it becomes unavailable. Sounds fine, right? Like, I'll just download it to my Fire Stick or my Roku and I'm good. But not so fast. The phrase generally continue to be available is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Because here's the real issue. For some titles, your preferred streaming company, in this case Amazon, might maintain viewing rights for people who already purchased the movie or TV show if it ever becomes unavailable to new buyers. But it's also possible that the streaming company may lose all rights altogether, even the viewing rights for people who already purchased a show or movie. And in that case, your device may try to verify the license with their servers. And the moment it gets a response like, sorry, we don't have the rights anymore, that movie or show might fail to play or disappear from your library. And you might not even know until you go to watch it. This is the same fight happening in gaming right now. You bought it, you downloaded it, you should be able to keep it. But under current systems, you don't own the file. You own a license, and that license is only good as long as the corporation says it is. For instance, the animated sci-fi series Final Space was pulled from every digital storefront. Even if you paid for it, you lost it. No refunds, no notice, just gone. HBO's Westworld, once one of their biggest shows, was completely removed from HBO Max. You can't stream it, you can't buy it on the platform, and there was no physical disc release for any of the later seasons. So even if you wanted to own it, you can't. This is the quiet collapse of ownership. Physical media is dying, and with it goes your only guarantee that what you paid for will still be there tomorrow. Now, believe it or not, the rabbit hole goes even deeper, because it's not just the movies or games they can take away. They can even brick the device you use to play them on. Nintendo has started bricking systems that use MigSwitch, a third-party tool that actually can be used for legal purposes, such as backing up physical game cartridges, playing out-of-region titles you bought legally, or preserving your own digital library. But Nintendo's position is that they don't care. Doesn't matter what you're doing. They don't like that you could do something they don't approve of, so they'll kill your system. Just like Nintendo, companies like Roku and Amazon Fire Stick are restricting what your own device can do. Sideloading apps like Plex or Kodi, even for legal use, has led to device bans or loss of functionality. Roku has even quietly removed developer mode from many of its users. So here's the key point. You're not being punished for breaking the rules. You're being punished for the possibility. You see, the moment your device becomes yours, truly yours, they'll flip a switch and the box you bought, the content you paid for, is dead and gone. Not because you pirated, not because you cheated, but because you might. So yeah, there's no good news here. This isn't a cautionary tale about what might happen, because it's already happening. The episode counts are shrinking, the release gaps are growing, and even when you pay for something, they can still delete it or brick the device you used to watch it. Not because you broke the rules, but because you might. This isn't just the death of television. It's the slow erasure of ownership. It's the conspiracy phrase, "you will own nothing and be happy." And for those of you clutching your DVD shelves right now, you might be the only ones left with true ownership. So now I've got to ask, have you ever lost access? If this pissed you off or made you nostalgic, hit that share button, because this isn't just a nostalgia channel, it's a resistance movement, and we've got a lot more to expose right here.